Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 4. Wow, can you believe it? Week 4 already, which gives me a good segue into a paper reminder. Remember, the paper's coming up here in just a few weeks, so you want to at least set yourself out a couple of important points. You want to make sure you've identified a social problem in your community. And again, that can be any number of things, from something as broad as homelessness, poverty, to something right in your neighborhood. I've had students in the past write about vandalism in their neighborhood, and so they got a group of their neighbors together, and another woman who, she didn't like the outfits the girls were wearing at her daughter's middle school, so she got parents organized and got all the kids had to wear uniforms. I'm sure they love that. But you see where I'm going. So it can be something very broad, like homelessness, like education, health care, or it can be, again, just something right in your neighborhood, graffiti, those kind of things. Dogs. I had one kid one time, she lived in an apartment, and she wrote about the number of dogs that were pooping, if you excuse my language, in a certain area, and it just stunk up the area. It was a health problem, yada yada. And she got that ameliorated. I had another guy in a gym class. He noticed that the gym he attended didn't have a recycle facility there, so he got behind them to start doing recycling. So anyway, get started on that paper. At least give it some ideas where you want to go with this. Set yourself out an outline and work on it a little bit every day. I'm telling you, that's the best way. Remember, it is a third of your grade. So if you are one of those unfortunate few who needs to improve their grade and wants to bump that grade up to an A, that's your chance. That's your best bet, is to make sure you do all the other assignments, but that paper is key. Okay, quizzes. If you, for some reason, missed a quiz in the past, there's a few of you who missed quizzes, or you scored exceptionally low, like a 1 or a 2 or something, you want to retake the quiz. I've reopened it. If you've already taken it, let me know ahead of time. I'll need to reset it specifically for you. Otherwise, if you haven't taken it at all, you should be able to take it at least once. Okay, lastly, the discussion board for this week. First of all, I want to say on the discussion board, some of you folks are just blowing me away with the amount of work you're putting into it. It's probably the last time you'll ever hear this from a professor, but you can take a step back if you want. You're scholars indeed, and that's great, and I encourage that. But some of you folks are just doing amazing work. You've really set the bar this high. Again, it's entirely up to you, but some of you folks, you don't need to work that hard on it. But I do appreciate it. Hope that came across okay. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is the discussion board. But do keep up the good work. Self. What does that mean? I start with a quote by the Jewish rabbi Menachem Mendel. Lived from 1757 to 1859. Lived a long life. If I am I, and you are you, then I am not I. You are not you. And hopefully, you don't need to figure that out. That's for the philosophers. But it's to lead off to this discussion of self and what that means. Now, for me, old as I am, self, my concept of myself has changed over the years. Certainly, as I got more education, as I gained higher status jobs, as I went to work. Some of you may know I'm a retired risk manager, but I've also taught part-time for 30 years. There's a certain status that goes along with all of that. And so my concept of self, my perception of self, has changed quite a bit. And as you'll find in later chapters, there's that front stage and backstage behavior as well. You know me as your professor, your instructor, but certainly my wife, my friends, my family, they know me differently. And so my concept of self is fluid. And you may find that in your own examination of yourself, how that concept of yourself has changed over the years and will continue to change as you pursue your education, as your career changes, your marital status. And speaking of those things, those are all demographic factors. And then I'll shut up and be done here. We're almost at 5 minutes. You know, when you ask somebody about themselves, how would you describe yourself? Well, usually they'll start off with their age or marital status, occupation, the number of children they have, maybe their education, all solid demographic data. And this is what we as sociologists use, not just to conduct our research, but those sociologists who work for opinion polls, for juries, for who work in outside of academia, use for their own purposes. So when you're thinking about yourself, think beyond those demographic factors and look really inward at who it is you are and how you would describe that person to someone else. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you all have a great week. Again, I'm always available. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot me an email through Canvas, and I will get right back to you within 24 hours. And usually I check them about every 10, 12 hours or so until I go to bed, which is early because I'm old. So anyway, have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.